Hi Leo, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm hearing something about a dream coming true. I'm looking at the Nine of Cups and the Hierophant. Seems almost like something that you had been... I'm looking at the Emperor as well. Something that you had been like wishing for, waiting for, maybe even coming to fruition. For some of you, this is about something that you own, maybe even a business. I'm also hearing co-owner. What I'm seeing too is definitely a firmness when it comes to... I'm hearing boundaries, but what I'm picking up on is that there's a firmness when it comes to like morals or even a standard of philosophy that you have. Values, I'm also hearing. It's like I'm seeing this be very upfront. It's almost like this energy of really like knowing yourself and knowing where you stand as well. And like getting clear on that is what it feels like. Maybe you also feel like you're getting guidance when it comes to what it is that you're working on. Yeah, what it is that you're working on, what it is that you're building. This does feel very like career job related to me. I'm hearing business. I'm also hearing business attire. I'm hearing foundation now. It seems like something that you've been building, working upon. This can even be about like some type of empire, something that you're building. Something that you've put in your due diligence. There's a sense of, because of this role that you've stepped into, things are like maybe even panning out now in a way that you had hoped for it to. I'm seeing something going on with finances. Like you could have maybe even questioned at a certain point if like what you were pursuing would be worth it to you, but there's a sense of feeling like confident and now even established in that, in like this belief. Because, yeah, I am seeing a concern when it comes to, like, financial reciprocity, even. I don't know if concern would be the right word. Maybe even a focus. Ooh, for some of you now, there's been, like, a lot of solo work that you've been doing. And you may have wished for some type of partnership or collaboration, and I'm seeing that that's what's coming through. And it looks very much like you've been guided together with someone here. Like this seems like something very serendipitous, even something meant to be. But maybe like even the way that it comes about, it feels like special or significant to you. I'm getting this straight away. You may have a tendency to like to manage or even micromanage or be the one in control at times. And this is all about trusting that things are going to work out, and that like whatever part of you that is that comes out that maybe wants to like control things at times, there's a sense of like not allowing that to have play in whatever collaboration this is that you're going to be part of. Like for some of you, maybe even it's like when it comes to things that involve like money or maybe even your business, like that part of you that's like, well, I'm not going to be treaded on or taken advantage of, but I'm seeing it almost be a notion of like needing to like cool that out a little bit. It's like everything's going to be fine. Maybe there's even a sense of tension. It's like you may want to relax a little bit. Like, because I'm seeing this come from a place of like, maybe sometimes when another person is in control, feeling a bit uneasy about this, but this is about like settling into that. Because it feels almost like a lesson that we're learning here, Leo. Where it's like, I'm hearing something about being the smartest guy in the room. It's like maybe you don't have to be as on guard as you had been feeling. Because it feels like what you've been doing, everything is good with that. But something may come up that may feel like somewhat triggering to like a part of your ego or your shadow. And you feel like you need to do something about it. But there's this sense of like when you put your faith and trust in like spirit and that everything is working out in the way that it's going to, there's a sense of like being able to relax into that and knowing that things will be balanced for you. And I'm not getting this like part of your ego or part of your shadow that you're completely unaware of is like coming out to play. It feels like something that you're already aware of, but something that may get triggered in a moment that you may want to pay attention to. Because it may be like, you may already be aware and be like, when I go into situations like this, like that part of my ego gets flustered. So it's like, as I said before, you already have an awareness of it. It's just like focusing on that and bringing attention to it, maybe even like bringing it into the light so it's not that shadow that we want to be pushing down or denying. Yeah, because things are going to be working out for you either way. Like, no matter how this situation goes, it's all going to pan out in the way that it's made to. Interesting. I'm getting definitely a nod, too, of, like, for sure work that you've done. It's like, you may even feel like you've gone through some sort of like maybe a couple big transformations when it comes to the healing work that you've focused on, because I'm definitely getting a healed energy, but it's one that's been through a lot because I'm looking at Scorpio here. It feels kind of seasoned as well. I'm getting that word, seasoned. I'm hearing I'm hearing it's not my first rodeo. It's like I'm seeing you have been through this before. It's interesting that it's coming up in this way. Let's get a little bit more. Yeah, it seems like because of the healing work and the path that you've pursued, you've gone through a lot of changes, especially when it comes to the ways that you do things, the ways that you manage things, the ways that you manifest. And maybe even how you communicate and speak out about this. It's like because you've been through some difficult situations, it's helped you to be better at doing what it is that you do. And understanding like what that means for you and how it is that you want to convey messages as well. Like I'm seeing you definitely be a force to be reckoned with for sure. It's really interesting. This may be a side note. You may be like even worried or preoccupied in relation to a feminine figure that's in your life. For some of you, this can even be your mom. That's kind of what this feels like. It's like worrying about someone, or maybe somebody's worried about you. Worrying about you. I wonder why that is. Maybe something going on with someone's anxiety. Because this feels like somewhat needless, even. So, I'm seeing something coming together that you had been hoping for. And I'm seeing the involvement of someone else. I'm looking at Aquarius, Taurus. I'm hearing Libra. I'm looking at Aries, Scorpio, Mercury, Saturn. So, maybe because this is a new situation, or you're working with someone, maybe incorporating someone into your life in a way that you haven't before, or maybe this is like some new type of dynamic that you're entering into, there's a sense of like needing to trust that this is like working in your best interest. And that part of you that may like have a hard time relaxing into this, there's a sense of like in you trusting yourself, it's going to give you a type of confidence that you need to know that you can work through this. Because, yeah, I am seeing an energy where it's like you may like to be the one in the driver's seat, but like this dynamic may challenge that a bit. Because it feels kind of like a learning experience that you're going through with this person. This is about wanting to like really stay sharp when it comes to how you're expressing yourself too, like with your word, to be very direct and clear too, and to like really think about things before you're speaking them out. Especially when it comes to where you stand and how you're feeling, is what I'm getting. There may also be a notion of focusing on yourself, focusing on self-care too, like maybe some sort of emphasis on that as well. It almost seems like trying to make a collaboration work with someone in a way where there's like an even exchange that's going on with whoever this other energy is. Because it really, I am sensing an outside energy that's having some sort of involvement with you, Leo. Your guides are telling you to be patient and to work through this, to be patient with the process. To focus on yourself, to focus on what you're working on, what you're doing. There's also a notion here too where it's like the more your heart chakra is open, the better off you're going to be in this situation. And it's interesting too because there's a sense of like maybe even closing yourself off because you want to protect yourself, but in this spread, I'm seeing particularly it's all about being open here. Saw 1414 on the time when I looked up. Yeah, maybe at times you feel a little bit weary of opening yourself up in that way. It's like getting to a place where maybe you perceive yourself as being vulnerable, and at times that feels uncomfortable to you. This has me feeling too that this is like really about leaning into the support that you have, whether this is like people around you or your spirit guides, whatever it is that you feel supports you within the universe. There's a sense of leaning on that and knowing that you can get through whatever this is, and like believing in that, and believing in like waiting through the process as well. So it's like maybe you're even used to things happening more instantly in some cases, and this is about like really getting comfortable with like patiently moving through this process too, and knowing that you can do that as well. Because there's definitely a sense of fulfillment that you're going to be finding. And I'm seeing that it's because you're opening up yourself, like opening up your heart chakra. This is how you're actually going to get in touch with the Ten of Cups here. And you being like very communicative is absolutely what helps you in this situation. So this is about like you maybe communicating more often than you normally do. About what it is that you want, about what it is you're looking for, about what feels right to you, about what doesn't, like what sits well with you, what doesn't. Because there's a sense, again, of opening yourself up to something new that you're going to be doing. Something that is definitely right for you. Like, I'm seeing this be very much in alignment with how you do things and your abilities and things like that, like who you are in the most innate way. Yeah, it feels kind of like you're starting something, or you may have started something on your own, and now you're kind of like carrying that over to like maybe even include someone else now. I'm getting that there's going to be, I'm hearing high definition communication. This feels too like getting clear on what you want as well. So if you're like questioned about it or in a situation, you're able to like explain what it is that you want. I'm not sure like what exactly that means, but when it comes to like a situation that you find yourself in, but that's what I'm getting here. So it's like getting clear on what you want, getting clear on what you don't want, so you'll recognize it either if it's there or if it's not there. So it's going to help you better maneuver within situations. For some of you too, there's something new that you want to be starting or something that you want to be working on, and this is about believing in yourself enough to actually be approaching it. Leaning on support when you need it. Focusing on the things that bring you joy. And knowing that you have everything you need to be able to do what it is that you want to do. Also trusting in your ability to communicate and speak things out. Like maybe there's some sort of, what I'm seeing here is there may be like some questioning that you do of yourself when it comes to your ability to like communicate or express yourself at times, but this is all about like honing in on that and maybe doing the work that you need to, if you feel like you need to better express yourself, because it's going to help you get closer to what it is that you want. And there may be some boundaries as well that you're going to be setting too. Just looking at Sagittarius in this spread. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.